Hi, my name is Mary Lee Gare, and I am a volunteer docent at the Laguna Art Museum. It's one of the best jobs I've ever had. Teaching is my background, and art is my interest. At LAM, I am able to enjoy both while working with the superb museum staff and meeting interesting guests. Surprise is perhaps what I enjoy most about tours. Laguna attracts a diverse audience from near and far. All tours are unique because participants' knowledge and interests are unique. Museum tours are a bit like live theater. No two are ever alike. College students tend to rush in at the end of a semester when a paper is due. Thanks to the meditative aspect of looking at artwork, a museum visit soothes even anxious students. I think there's something for everyone at LAM. A tour is a conversation that encourages visitors to make their own interpretations and draw their own conclusions. A docent can share information about history or process, but it is the guest's own experience that gives meaning to a work of art. A favorite memory was a school tour with fourth graders. One energetic young man was sure he didn't want to be at a museum. After all, the beach is right outside. In spite of himself, he became engaged in looking, making connections, and drawing thoughtful conclusions. After the tour, he enjoyed a hands-on art project. As he left the museum, running because he was last, he shouted with disbelief, "That was actually fun." Listening, learning, guiding, sharing, it's what I love about being a docent at Laguna Art Museum. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Molly Levita. I've been a docent at the Laguna Art Museum for 7 years now. And I have to say, I have enjoyed every moment, every exhibit, and every tour, regardless of the configuration of that tour. I'd like to think I have no ageism issues. However, I do favor the busloads of children that come to us on school tours. As a former educator, I have a particular penchant for children and all of their enthusiasm and endless exuberance. And to me, there's nothing more satisfying than to help facilitate discovery. And for most adults doing a tour of the museum, it's a solo journey, very quiet and reflective and a contemplative stroll, observing and lingering gazes. For children, none of that. Rambunctious sharing. They're very interactive. They want you to look at that and come see this. And did you notice that? And they love to discover something or to see something that their classmates haven't seen, and vice versa. They also are humbled when another classmate sees something that they didn't see. And so my job as a docent fluctuates between giving tours to adults and children, but as I said, I favor children. And my job is to take the experience from a totally subjective one for children into the realm of deeper discovery and to channel their energy and their curiosity, to encourage them to linger a little longer and to look a little closer and look for the surprise. And we've had several exhibits. Tony DeLapse was very impactful for the kids. They loved his magic and the element of surprise by peeking around the edges of the frames of the pictures. And they were convinced that as a child, he mastered origami. And he must have done a lot of practicing. And it was so sweet. Wayne Tebow, always a favorite. His almost edible images, particularly captivating for the kids, especially around lunchtime. His bright colors and just the joy of his pictures, the kids immediately connect with. Helen Lundberg, her post-surrealism, they are fascinated with looking at those images, and she leaves little hints and little clues, and it's not spot on, but they have to figure it out, and they love that mental activity. And I love watching them do it. It's like observing firsthand, learning in the moment, and it's very exhilarating, at least for me. So I just love doing doing. I love docenting at the museum. I feel um, very, very lucky to be a part of everything that they do, and they do so much for the community. And I think especially for children. And when the kids leave, we always like to have them feel very confident that they could bring their mom and dad and brothers and sisters back, and or a friend, and give a tour themselves, that they've learned something, and they're very happy about that. So I just wanted to give a little bit of a peek into what it's like to give a docent tour for children. So I hope to see you at the museum. Bye.
Hello, my name is David Powers. I'm a docent at the Laguna Art Museum. I became a docent for the same reasons I moved to Laguna Beach, a Venn diagram of art, culture, history, community, and location. All of those qualities are alive and well in Laguna Beach and the Laguna Art Museum, and are central to the mission of the docent community at the museum. And I had great direction and encouragement from someone at the center of the Venn, artist, educator, historian, Mr. Gene Cooper. I love that the Laguna Art Museum held Rick Griffin's first major retrospective and solo exhibition, Heart and Torch, in June of 2007. I've had a 57-year connection with Rick Griffin's art. It continues to this day. I bought a Griffin poster this past Sunday, July of 2020, to add to my collection. I would love to see a Rick Griffin, Tony DeLapp, Hobie, Wardy, Finnish fetish exhibition. I'd love to conduct tours of that exhibition. Most of my docent tours have been with schools and boys and girls clubs. These tours have contributed the most to my learning as a docent, learning about observation and communication. During the recent Baldessari exhibition, the students got into a spirited debate with their teachers, parents, and chaperones whether or not a blue apple is an apple. What could be more Baldessarian? Touring students in the Steel Gallery, our main gallery, while looking at the oldest work in the museum's collection, an old California landscape featuring the mission at San Gabriel, 3 of the boys in the school group told me the painting was done on a Sunday. It's very unusual for the middle school boys to speak at all. For 3 to announce it so matter of fact was the sound of fact. Why, I asked? Well, because there are men wearing white with a sash. That is Sunday dancing outfit. No work in those clothes, no work on Sundays in that finery. How lucky I am to get an education from the students, as well as the artists and the art. How fortunate I am to be a docent at the Laguna Art Museum.
My job as a docent and why I love it. Laguna Art Museum provides a marvelous environment for volunteering as a docent, and our educational team of Marinta, Kristen, Caitlin keep our docents on time and on top of our game. Then add the entire museum family, our guards, receptionists, cleaning staff, and our administrative branch upstairs. It is always a pleasure to be there. On a personal note, in 2014, Malcolm suggested I apply for docent training with Marinta. I am so glad I accepted the challenge. Class of 2015, 12 of us excited to be full-time, real-time docents. My goal in preparation for my student groups is to set the stage carefully. When I greet my students, I begin a conversation between the artist, the artwork, and them, the students. I call this an icebreaker. We are storytelling, discussing the artwork, and second guessing the artist's intent. I once had a young student very intently listening to my icebreaker so intent that I felt she had something really vital to add. She did. Jennifer, you have lipstick on your teeth. Another opening funny moment, and again, the initial icebreaker. Students watching, discussing, listening intently. Hand goes up. Jennifer, you have your badge on upside down. I couldn't wait to tell Leilani and others on duty because it made me giggle. And it happened more than once. Today, in honor of that moment, I'm wearing my badge upside down. A discussion with a fifth grade class led to this incident. Another funny moment. Interesting question. Kristen, our fellow docent, was actually filming at that particular moment, so it is on the record. I was remarking that a painting we were looking at was very, very old. A fifth grader young man raised his hand and politely asked, "As old as Grandma Moses?" Caught me by surprise. However, he was sincere. In conclusion, a really favorite story. In the fall of 2019, we had an incredible exhibition of etchings from the Laguna Art Museum's own collection by the famous printmaker Mildred Bryant Brooks. Etching and dry point titled Boy Trouble, 1945 to 46. This etching was a winner with younger students, especially third and fourth graders. So one day when I had a group of fourth grade, all boy group, we did storytelling. We counted 10 boys in the tree. We noted their positions in the tree. We noted the broken limb. Suddenly, the students were reminded of an English folk song, Five Little Monkeys. Jumping on the bed, one fell down and bumped his head. Mama called the doctor. You get it. You remember it. So we transitioned this to Five Little Monkeys swinging in a tree. And then the students brought in boys swinging in a tree. 10 little boys swinging in a tree, teasing Mr. Alligator, can't catch me. Along came Mr. Alligator, quiet as can be, and snatched that monkey boy out of that tree. And they began to sing and sing. I don't remember which guard was with me that morning. We so enjoyed the happiness this work of art inspired. Thank you for listening and allowing me to share some of my favorite moments.